Namaste all, welcome to my channel, and today I am going to present the topic National Education Policy 2020. It's a series of presentations. This is the first among the series. So in this presentation I would like to describe the salient features of the new National Education Policy 2020. So let us see the background. So the policy was initiated by the lapse of about more than 30 years since the then new education policy 1986. Actually, this preparation for the current policy has been initiated in 2016 itself. So that's an important uh, period of 30 years and so much changes and developments in various realms of life. So another major consideration as the background of this policy is the Sustainable Development Goal 4 and the SDG 4 stated for inclusive and equitable quality lifelong education for all. So there is a remarkable uh, change in the statement from the Millennium Development Goal to the Sustainable Development Goal. It's an inclusive, equitable, quality, lifelong education for all. So that's another background of the policy. Then the rapid changes in knowledge, technology, and employment. So in the three major areas, the change in the last 3 decades, especially in the nature of knowledge, then the explosion in the area of technology, tools, devices, as well as the nature of and type of varieties of employment and the various skills required for specific employment than at the time of the previous policy. Then another background, the 21st century skills are taken as another important background for the policy by the makers. So the required skills for the millennium. And moreover, the draft policy, national education policy, which was released in 2019. So that policy draft was released in 2019 and it was disseminated widely in many regional languages and conducted various discussions at different levels. And by compiling all the suggestions, this policy has been formulated. There is a list of principles, behind the policy or the on the basis of which the policy is proposed. Let us see those principles. It emphasizes on capabilities of students, and the capacities of students is the first principle. Then the foundational literacy and numeracy. That's another major principle. Achieving this foundational literacy and numeracy by all. Then the principle of flexibility. There should be a great extent of flexibility in education. Then removing unnecessary compartmentalization. The present system of education is considered as highly compartmental, and this policy aim to remove such excessive separation or excessive compartmentalization between arts and science, academic and vocational streams. Then multidisciplinary and holistic education, that's another principle, to integrate various discipline as well as to provide holistic education. Then emphasis on conceptual understanding than rote memorization or content oriented system. Instead of this more content oriented system, a more conceptual understanding has been proposed. Then continuous review, that's another principle. There will be a provision for continuous review of educational activities and educational process. Then education as a public service, that's an important principle. And the technology driven, that's the other major principle. All different aspects, activities proposed in the policy, even from the body of regulations and to the lower end, in the case of assessment itself, all the various levels and various stages or various steps, different processes, all these are in one way or other linked with technology. So these are some major principles. There are so many other principles also, but these are considered as the major principles of this policy. Then the policy visions envisions as an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all, and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. So that's the vision of the policy. The vision is stated like that: a sustainably equitable and vibrant knowledge society. So that's the vision. Then the uh, different areas in this policy are school education, then higher education, teacher education, and research. So I am planning to present this as these four major areas. The first of all, it's school education, and there is a change in school education, which is not a structural change. Many people misunderstood that this is a structural change of classes and stages. It's not like that. The policy clearly stated that no such structural changes is required, but they propose a pedagogical and curricular restructuring. So a pedagogical and curricular restructuring from 10 plus 2 pattern to a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So there is a 4 different stages. So till now we have 2 stages, a stage from 1 to 10 and from 11 and 12. So instead of that, a 4 stages school education, pedagogical and curricular structure is proposed in this policy. So the stages such as foundational stage of 5 years, then a preparatory stage of 3 years, then again a middle stage of 3 years, and up to that is elementary, and then secondary stage of 4 years. And this 4 years itself is, it's the policy stated that the 9th and 10th, by the end of 10 there will be a board exam, and students can opt out for vocational stream, or they can go and enroll in another types of schools or general schools for their the further education at secondary level. So no type of structural changes except the addition of a 3 years means strengthening of ECCE from the age of 3 onwards. That's a major change proposed in the policy. So it demands ECCE for all from age 3. So early childhood care and education shall be made compulsory for all children in the nation from the age 3 onwards, and NCERT will be responsible for development of a framework for school education from the next academic year 2020-21. And most interestingly, this time they will propose a sub framework for the children from age up to 3, from birth to 3 years. That's it's a revolutionary concept. For the first time in our nation, there will be a framework for the development of and education of children from birth to 3 years is going to prepare by NCERT. Then universal foundational literacy and numeracy by 2025. So there is a 5-year target for universalization of foundational literacy and numeracy by the policy. And the Diksha, the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, which is already established. It is available as a mobile application, and this application is open for all, and it is beneficial for students, teachers, as well as parents. So that kind of digital involvement in the school education. Then ensure universal access, participation, and retention. That's another major feature proposed for school education. So in order to provide that universal access, the platform like Diksha was established, so that universal access education should be, and educational institution shall be freely accessible to all parts of the nation. And it also demands not only the mere attendance but participation from the part of learners, as well as the enrolled learners shall be fully retained in schools till the age 18. So there is a 15 years of schooling is actually proposed in this policy, and that 15 years will be become their right. So 15 years of school education will be a right for every child in the nation. Then the policy uh, propose a reduction in curriculum load. So the content of the curriculum shall be reduced, and it shall be more uh, process oriented or activity oriented as per the policy. Then there will be great level of flexibility in cross choices and assessment. So flexibility also is proposed with respect to selection of choices. Students will be provided choices for selecting courses of their interest from the grade 6 to 8 onwards, and there are also some flexibility in the process of assessment also is proposed. And there is an interesting bagless period is also mentioned in the policy during the school years from grade 6 onwards. So there will be at least some 10 days of bagless period every year in order to familiarize the localized skills, activities, arts, culture related programs, and students are required to undertake a fun course during the period as mentioned in the policy. So these are some aspects related to school education mentioned in the policy. Then the second major area is higher education. And in higher education sector also this policy suggests remarkable changes, and there are 12 different bodies or 12 different institutions are going to establish to develop or to monitor the higher education growth and development. And the first and foremost massive change is that the policy uh, direct the ending of affiliating system. So now it's the most of the universities are affiliating universities, and so many colleges are affiliated to many famous universities in the nation. So this policy stands for ending of an affiliating system and evolution period of a 15 years, though a target is proposed. So it is not an immediate change. By the next 15 years, the existing colleges and universities should be transformed either as a research intensive university or a teacher intensive universities, and the colleges remaining can be developed as autonomous colleges if they are having successful in attaining the standards set up by the required regulatory bodies, or they have to close down. So there will be only three types of higher education institutions, such as research intensive and teaching intensive universities and autonomous colleges. And there will be multiple entry and exit points. That's another uh, revolutionary suggestion of the policy, that it's the first time that a student get an opportunity to join for a course at different stages of a program, and also there will be an option to exit from the program at some required point. And on successful completion of the set of courses in a program, the students will be awarded by a certificate, diploma, or degree on the basis of their level of attainment. Then there also proposed a credit banking system. So when a student discontinue his or her studies by some unavoidable reason, the acquired credit shall be filed there, and when if he or she decide to rejoin and continue the program, they can made use of this already acquired credit. So that's also a student friendly proposal. Then for the control of entire higher education system, there is a single apex body, Higher Education Commission of India is proposed. It's a new institution, and it shall be an overarching umbrella like institutions of four major institutions for regulation, accreditation, funding, and standards. So the four major aspects of higher education. So the first one, regulation. So in order to prepare regulations and regulate all higher education institutions and organization, National Higher Education Regulation Council, and there will be a National Accreditation Council for accreditation of higher education institution, then Higher Education Grant Council for funding for higher education, and General Education Council for setting up standards for higher education institutions of various types. So regarding the programs, there shall be 3 or 4 year undergraduate programs. So two types of programs are proposed. So 3 year programs or 4 year programs, or 1 year to 2 year PG programs. Those who undergo 3 year UG have to enroll for a 2 year PG. Or if a student completed a 4 year UG, then they can directly enroll for PhD. So that's another remarkable change proposed as, and there is an important decision to discontinue the MPhil course. So that's regarding the programs, nature of programs, and all types of programs shall be available in all institutions. That's the major change. No institution can be kept away from the decision. All institutions shall be multidisciplinary in nature and should provide all types of or programs of from all disciplines. That also is an important decision. So this decision is based on the thinking that there shall be massive enhancement in the enrollment of students at higher education sector. Then integration of vocational education, that's another important decision. So vocational education, by the next 5 years, at least 50% of students in schools and higher education shall acquire some level of vocational education. So that also it should not be kept apart, that the vision of the policy shall be properly integrated to the academic stream. Then the grading shall be based on criterion, or a criterion based grading is proposed in place of credit based grading of the present practice. So that also is a major change in the part of assessment. So that's some changes in the higher education area. Now let us see the area of teacher education. So teacher education, integrated teacher education programs is proposed, which is already running in various states and various conducted by various institutions. A 4-year program. In that 4-year program, students are getting a chance to continue study their graduation along with how to teach that, educate that particular subject. So BA Ed as well as BSc Ed courses. So that will be the future courses, and there will be 2-year B.Ed programs for existing UG and PG completed holders. So UG, PG degree holders having a chance to take B.Ed. So there will be the availability of the 2-year existing program for few more years, and there shall be a 1-year B.Ed in future for those who are completing 4-year multidisciplinary UG courses. So that course may have initiated in future, and there shall be some possibility of blended and ODL programs for teacher education programs. That also is proposed, and this such kind of programs are proposed for students from remote and distance areas. Then programs for teaching and evaluation at multiple levels also are proposed. The means a total revamping of the existing type of teacher education programs is mentioned in the policy, that each program shall be capable of train students for teaching and evaluating students at multiple levels, or elementary and secondary, secondary and senior secondary. Such kind of multiple level teaching and evaluation capability shall be for there for the teacher education programs. Then certificate and other shorter programs also proposed for post B.Ed certification, as well as those who are having no such certificate or diploma program, especially for those who are locally selected for teaching students in the area of local arts or local crafts, etc. So in order to train them, such shorter programs are also suggested, and there will be a new curriculum framework for teacher education, which will be developed by the NCT by the next academic year onwards. Then standalone institutions means the institutions which are imparting only teacher education, and substandard institutions shall be shut down in the near future. So by the 10 years there will be some remarkable changes in the area of teacher education. So research is the another important area which is give due emphasis in this policy. So, in the area of research, there will be a new organization such as National Research Foundation is going to establish, and this foundation will supervise, streamline, and prioritize various types of research in nation. And this foundation is aimed to provide competitive funding to different types of institutions for some basic as well as advanced research. And what is interesting is that all existing funding agencies will continue. So all the existing agencies which are provide funding for institutions of different nature, that will continue as per the policy, and this is an additional organization, and there will be prioritization of research to face societal needs and the societal problems. That's another important mention in the policy, and there will be an increased importance of research. That's why research is integrated with undergraduate level education. So the fourth year in the 4-year UG programs, the fourth year is exclusively meant for conducting rigorous research in some areas. So that's about research. And there is a program of action in the last policy of 1986. There was a program of action which was framed in 1992. So by realizing that time lapse, this policy has its in its last section is exclusively for how to make this happen. So that's a section. So there is a detailed program for make this policy into a realization, into its realization. And the first major change will be the change in the name of the ministry, as well as to change the concept or the focus from human resource to purely to education. So MHRD to MOE, Ministry of Education. Then strengthening of Central Advisory Board of Education, and these are two major change at the top level. Then enhance public expenditure in the area of education. The policy propose suggest 6% of GDP for exclusively for education. Then there shall be proper financial governance management activities for the smooth conduct and smooth utilization, proper and quick utilization of the funds is proposed. Then coherent planning, that's very essential, that kind of planning not at the national level but at statewide, regional, local level. Thorough planning is essential, and the policy suggested certain principles for implementation as well, and the policy shall be taken as a whole in its spirit and intent, and it proposed certain phases. It's a actually it provide a 20-year plan for up to 2040. The policy is many changes proposed in the policy were aimed to attain by 2040. So there will be a 20-year program. So it's a long phase of 20 years. So, and there are some immediate changes required, and some changes after 5 years, and some changes by 10 years, changes from 15 years onwards. So such kind of a phased changes, phased transformation is proposed in the policy. So there shall be very thorough planning, and there shall be prioritization also, which should be done at first and what should come next, etc. And there shall be comprehensiveness in all this implementation, and most importantly, it's a joint venture of the state and center, because education is in concurrent list. So that's also an important principle. Then timely infusion of resources, that also is very essential for smooth transformation through different phases as planned in the policy. Then a careful analysis and review is necessary at each step and at uh, within some required intervals such as 6 months or 1 year. There shall be proper review and there shall be continuous analysis regarding the process of the implementation. So these are some major principles proposed by the proposed in the policy for proper implementation, and the joint committees of center and state to make it happen next decade. So by the next decade, all this the state and center level joint committee shall be formed to make this happen. So these are some important aspects regarding the or the salient features of the National Education Policy 2020. So thanks for watching the presentation. Thank you all.